Pastor Mark Biltz here from Shaddai Ministries. Thank you again so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe and share. Also, please like this video, and we would love to hear your comments. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye. What I've come up with is a lesson called Just How Close Are We to the Lord's Return? How many of you believe we're close? Amen. Yes. How many of you believe we're very close? Yeah. I think he's not just at the door, but the door is opening. And I believe very soon the door is also going to be shut. Okay, so here we are. Some of this is going to be a refresher for some of you. It's going to be new for some of you, but I also have a bunch of other things I'm introducing. But I really believe we are close. I believe we are that terminal generation. And if you remember, if you look at this, no, don't look at that. Do we have my slides working, Jill? The PowerPoints? Oh, please, oh, please. Maybe they're not even in there. Open. Is anybody in there? Earth to Nick. That's my PowerPoint slides.
Okay. Here we go.
Yeah, it's like all hands on deck trying to fix everything. We'll have to figure out how this happens so it doesn't happen again. Okay, there we are. Yay. All right, here we see Yeshua on the Mount of Olives looking at the temple. And how many are familiar with when I say Matthew 24, know what I'm talking about? Yeah. This is Matthew 24 right here. Let's start with verse 3. It talks about how while he was seated on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately and they said, "Please make this clear to us. When will all these things be, and what will be the sign of your coming and the end of the world?" Okay, so here he is on the Mount of Olives. They're wanting to know about the last days. And look what he says in verse 6 through 8. You're going to hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you're not alarmed, for this must take place. But the end is not yet, for nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There's going to be famines and earthquakes, and all these are but the beginning of the birth pains. First off, I don't know what it is in some of the other languages here, but the word nation will rise against nation is not a correct English translation. The correct translation is ethnic group will rise against ethnic group. And then kingdom against kingdom, or nation against nation. Right. Now, I want you to put your yarmulkes on, and you're back 2,000 years ago sitting on the Mount of Olives, and Yeshua says to you, there's going to be wars. What wars are going to come to your mind as a Jewish person 2,000 years ago sitting on the Mount of Olives? What are you going to be thinking of? Rome? Well, that war hasn't happened yet till 70 AD. We're talking around 30 AD here. So when you hear war, what war are you going to think of? Hanukkah. Exactly. Hanukkah was... come on, slides. Oh, just a second. I see what happened here. Okay, just a second. Let me fix this. There. See if I can get this to work. There, Hanukkah. Hanukkah happened in 168 BC, basically, in the month of Kislev, which is roughly our December. On Kislev 25, that was the most current war in their mind. So when they think of war, they're going to think, oh my goodness, Hanukkah is going to happen again. What other war are they thinking of? How about Nebuchadnezzar destroying the temple in 586, 587 BC, the 9th of Av, which is roughly July 9th or August 9th, at that time frame. Okay, so if you're hearing of wars and rumors of wars, and you're sitting at the Mount of Olives at that day, the two major wars are going to be Hanukkah and the temple being destroyed. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, so what is that telling us prophetically in our day? Okay, the trigger is going to be a war that has to do with Hanukkah and the destruction of the temple. Now, when we think in our mind, what is a major war that happened in the last couple centuries? How about World War I? World War I started on August 1st, 1914. Guess what? On the biblical calendar, that was the 9th of Av. So any prophetic person is going to go, wow, World War I started on the 9th of Av. He was talking about wars that are similar to the 9th of Av. We also know it'll be as in the days of Noah, correct? All right, well, guess what? I don't know how many of you have heard of the Balfour Declaration, but during World War I, on November 2nd, 1917, Lord Balfour declared there needs to be land set aside for the nation of Israel. Well, guess what? That happened, as you can see on this, November 2nd, 1917. Guess what? November 2nd, 1917 on the biblical calendar is Heshvan 17. Does that ring a bell for anybody? Heshvan 17 is the very day Noah's flood rains began. So here we have the 9th of Av. We have the connection to Noah's flood rains. What about the connection to Hanukkah? World War I, on December 11th, 1917, is when General Allenby conquered Jerusalem and took it over with the Allied forces. Guess what? That was during Hanukkah. Okay, so we know that World War I prophetically was a very significant event when it comes to Matthew 24, wars and rumors of war. I believe that was the real starting point.